got you covered. This is 19 News at 5.
Well, another person is injured, this time in a house fire on the north side. And a local effort to address the need for more mental health support, especially for area teens. And it's one of the largest ski events in the country because it includes all ages and skills, and it's happening right here in La Crosse. Thanks for joining us. I'm Heather Armstrong. Well, this weekend is a big one for our local ski hill. Mount La Crosse is hosting 600 athletes. The 19th anniversary of the Dan Nagy Memorial Race will honor a widely known member of the Midwest Alpine community. Alpine USSS racers from throughout the Midwest, ranging in age and skill level, will take to the slopes at what is considered the largest event in the country. The three-day event loves coming back to the La Crosse area year in and year out.
It's a fantastic community. We love coming to La Crosse. The city of La Crosse has supported us for 19 years. Mount La Crosse has supported it for 19 years. And it's just great to get together with a bunch of old friends and people from as far away as Canada and Massachusetts coming to La Crosse for this fantastic event.
And this event is free to the public. Bleacher seating is available. A separate gathering area will be held at the La Crosse Center to pay tribute to Dan Nagy, along with an award ceremony. Well, there is actually a chance for some snow, but for those who want the snow, don't get too excited, and for others, don't get upset because we might not really get much at all. Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Landgrave joins us now. So what do you think about this?
Yeah, we're not going to get much snow. It's been a common narrative every single time we've had a chance for snow lately, and that's for today as well. So we do have some snow moving into the Coulee region, quite light. The things that you would probably expect as the snow moves in is a reduction in visibility. As we take a look at current conditions right now, it is quite windy at 21 degrees, feels like 8. So we've been warmer as far as those temperatures for today. But those winds keeping our real feels quite low, all the way from 10 to 20 miles an hour through today. So you take a look at those wind chills at 8 in La Crosse, 15 Winona, not bad, but you got 12 in Boscabola. So tonight we're looking to get a low of 18 degrees. Your real feels probably close to the single digits. And for tomorrow, we're going to expect quite the same thing at 27 degrees. All more details on those snow chances and this weekend coming up in 15 minutes. Heather?
Thanks, Jeremy. Now to the U.S.-Mexico border, where President Trump has ordered the deployment of more than 1,500 active duty troops. It comes as his administration confirms military-facilitated deportation flights as part of his sweeping immigration actions. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the story from New York.
The first wave of active duty troops now on the ground at the U.S. southern border. President Trump surging 1,500 active duty Army soldiers and Marines as part of his crackdown on immigration, with the Pentagon promising even more troops in the coming days. Those troops joining the 2,500 National Guardsmen and women who have been at the border for years, where apprehensions have dropped significantly from 2023. More than 47,000 encounters between ports of entry at the southern border, down from nearly 250 December 2023, according to the Border Patrol. The additional troops are part of a grand show of force as President Trump signs a slew of sweeping executive orders on immigration, declaring what he described as a national emergency. Just today, the Trump administration confirming deportation flights on military aircraft have already started. Trump asked about the deportations as he arrived in western North Carolina to tour the aftermath of Hurricane Helene.
We're getting the bad, hard criminals out. These are murderers. These are people that have been as bad as you get, as bad as anybody you've seen. We're taking them out first.
Meanwhile, several cities, including Boston and New York, are seeing some communities rattled by ICE raids. Federal authorities confirming the arrest of more than 500 undocumented migrants on Thursday alone. And sources say those operations appear to have been routine, with most of those arrested suspected criminals. Trump also revoking a directive barring arrests in sensitive areas, allowing federal immigration authorities to target schools and churches.
They're unconstitutional and un-American. Folks are afraid. They want to know if their neighbor, their brother, their sister, their mother, their wife will be picked up at the grocery store and deported.
The president also signed an executive order to end birthright citizenship. Even though the 14th Amendment affords citizenship to those born in the U.S., Trump again vowing to appeal a federal judge's decision that halts that order. Well, La Crescent police reported that they were investigating the death of a juvenile on Thursday afternoon. This is a juvenile who died at home. Now, according to the department, the child had been ill for quite some time and home from school. A family member found them unresponsive around 1:45 in the afternoon. First responders were called to the home, but say they were unable to revive the child. Now, a statement from the police said there was no indication of suspicious circumstances. They were also working with the school district to offer support for the students and staff. A silver alert is still in effect for a 76-year-old man who was last seen on January 14th. According to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, David Wolf is believed to have left in his gray Buick LaCrosse sedan. His Wisconsin license plate 774NEJ. The Sheriff's Office also reported that Wolf has significant medical needs and needs medication. He is described as being 6'1", weighing about 200 pounds. If you have information, contact Monroe County Sheriff's Office immediately. Well, Anthony Ulvestad, he's the 17-year-old arrested for attempted armed robbery. He was back in court for his preliminary hearing today. Earlier this week, he was arrested in connection to an attempted robbery outside of the Barrel Inn on West Avenue. According to the criminal complaint, he allegedly came up to a car and hit the window with a gun, then aimed it at the driver. The victim was luckily able to drive off but called police. Ulvestad was found hiding a few blocks away, and they also found that gun. Today, a not guilty plea was entered. Ulvestad's attorney also requesting a lower bond, but that was denied. Right now, he's in La Crosse County Jail on a $25,000 cash bond. His next court date scheduled for sometime in late February. 2 people were arrested in Caledonia today when police conducted a warrant search. It happened in the 1000th block of East Grove Street at around 1 o'clock. Well, here they are. The Houston County Sheriff's Office says that during the search warrant, Alicia Cadmus and Andrew Hansen had fentanyl, methamphetamine, prescription medication, along with a substantial amount of money and, of course, a firearm. Now, the 2 were arrested in the home where they lived and then transported to the Houston County Jail. A fire this morning on La Crosse's north side. Fire crews were called to a mobile home that's located at 1747 Rose Street. It happened just before 9 o'clock this morning, and crews said when they arrived, they found heavy smoke and flames coming from what appears to be a single-family residence. That fire, though, caused significant damage, and even one person had to be treated on the scene for injuries, later being taken by ambulance to the hospital. Now, the cause of the fire, still unknown. And we're learning more about a connection between the student who carried out a deadly shooting at a Nashville school and one who did the same here in Wisconsin last month. 17-year-old Solomon Henderson opened fire in his school cafeteria on Wednesday, killing one person and injuring others before turning the gun on himself. An X account connected to the boy replied to the X account used by Abundant Life Christian school shooting suspect Samantha Rubnow. Both Rubnow and Henderson are believed to have shown interest in neo-Nazi ideology and violence. The president of Gunderson Region of Amplify Health, Heather Shimmers, says there's been a continuous increase in mental health challenges in kids and teens in the area. She says they're facing things like anxiety, depression, and stress-related disorders. Those challenges, she says, can be worsened by social pressures, academic expectations, and lingering effects. Shimmers also says it's why young people need to have access to timely and effective care.
I think early education is so critical in building lifelong resilience in all things, right? We talk about healthy eating from the moment our babies are born. So when children and teens are equipped with tools to help them just recognize and manage mental health challenges, they're going to be more likely to seek help and then also support others who need to seek help.
Following Governor Evers' budget proposal to expand funding for suicide prevention and mental health training in schools, Shimming says she applauds the governor for recognizing the continual urgent need to invest in mental health services. In Minnesota, Hiawatha Valley Mental Health Center has a mission to deliver exceptional, responsive, and consumer-focused behavioral health services. As Crystal Flintrop explains, now the nonprofit is celebrating 60 years of doing just that.
One of the services we provide is mobile mental health crisis services, and I know we save lives through that.
An evolution from 1965, when Hiawatha Valley Mental Health Center started as a one-clinic agency.
Based on people being released from state hospitals in the 60s and 70s and early 80s, a lot of people that maybe were placed in hospitals were placed there some for their life.
With the deinstitutionalization movement of the 80s, mental health care shifted from hospitals to community-based services. So Hiawatha Valley adapted.
We added some housing programs, which today we have 4 houses here in Winona in a 20 single bedroom apartment building. We added school-based services, mobile crisis services, and expanded our reach from what was originally a 3-county service area to now 5-county service area.
Since its start, Hiawatha Valley has had a mission to educate their community. And to this day, they still do that through events and partnering with community organizations like the Family and Children's Center.
And those are all events to help raise awareness, to have conversations in the community about suicide, about mental health, about substance abuse, to help normalize the conversation to reduce that stigma.
As Hiawatha Valley celebrates 60 years, it reflects on its history and says it's the people that stand out.
When I think about the amount of time we've been a part of the communities here in southeastern Minnesota, my first reaction is, we have a really resilient group of people that have been here for many years. We have a great group of employees, and that's what has helped us sustain over the number of years we have.
In Winona, I'm Crystal Flintrop.
Another resource that is expanding for Hiawatha Valley is the Peer Support Program for Adults to Socialize. That's currently in Winona, Red Wing, and Wabasha, and there are plans for this program in Caledonia. Well, a study says that people that live with ADHD don't live as long as other people. Those findings show men with ADHD had a shorter life expectancy by 4.5 to 9 years. Now, women's life expectancy was shortened by 6.5 to even 11 years. It was also linked to anxiety, depression, self-harm, suicide, and personality disorders.